Hey, what's going on, guys? So I just finished all of the Witch Doctor D3 planners for Season 27, so I kind of wanted this video to be a one-stop shop for pretty much any build you're going to want to play in Season 27 for the doc. So yeah, there'll be a link to all of the builds in the description of this video, so you can use this video as a reference at any point in the season. Now, some of these builds may be iterated on as the season goes on, and maybe some builds I don't even have on here will emerge during the season. I kind of doubt it. I think, for the most part, everything's pretty set in stone for Witch Doctor at this point. But, yeah, let's go ahead and go through the builds real quick. So, starting out, Helltooth. We get Helltooth from the Hadrig's Gift, so it's going to be the first set that you see. So we have 6 different builds here for Helltooth. So the first couple are GR20 builds, because you're going to have to complete Chapter 4 to get your 6-piece set, and to do that you have to do a level 20 Greater Rift solo, and you're only going to have 4-piece Helltooth. Helltooth is actually a really easy build to complete this with. So you get the Acid Cloud version here, then we also have a Zombie Bears version if you happen to have the Scrimshaw, and either build will be a piece of cake for GR20, but this Zombie Bears version especially. And then we transition into T16 Zombie Bears, so we got a build for that here, using the Horrify Sanctified power, and then into the Pet Gargantuan build. So we've got a T16 version here. This is a really fast T16 build. I know a lot of you guys love the old Helltooth Chicken speed farming builds. Well, we're not running Manajumas here. We're not running Chicken. Shukrani's Triumph is just a little bit too good not to run. And the sick thing about Shukrani's with a Helltooth Garg build is you can run around in Spirit Walk while your Gargantuans are killing things, and you are immune to damage. It's pretty nice. This is a really fast T16 build. It's kind of a theme for this season with Witch Doctor. We have like 5 or 6 really fast T16 builds, and this one sub 2-minute clears very consistently once you have it geared up, and it's really strong if you like this playstyle. We've got a Greater Rift Speed Gargantuan build, so, you know, up to 110, 115 Greater Rifts if you want to farm Paragon with this one. And then we've got a Greater Rift pushing build for the Gargantuans. Not going to be the strongest pushing build for this season, but if you want to, you know, try to go for that rank 1 on the Helltooth leaderboard, this is kind of the build, roughly, is what you're going to go. Alright, so moving on into the Auto Haunter builds. So first up, we've got the just 2-piece Jade T16 Auto Haunter build. Kind of the way this works, you have this new Sanctified power. Enemies affected by Locust Swarm are also haunted, and so you're passively casting Locust Swarm with the Wormwood and the Cube, and you're basically just trying to hit enemies twice with Haunt to proc the 2-piece Jade bonus. This is kind of one of the cooler T16 builds in the game, because most T16 builds you either need Legacy of Dreams, Legacy of Nightmares, or a full 6-piece set to make it work. This one, you just need 2-piece Jade. That is it. So this build, you're able to utilize things like a Guardian set with it, Captain Crimson's set, Aquila Cuirass, kind of build it a little bit like you would a Legacy of Dreams build. And you can mix and match this stuff. All you have to make this work is the Wormwood and the Cube, and the 2-piece Jade. And that moves us into Jade Auto Haunter. So similar setup, but we're just running 6-piece Jade here. So we also get the added benefit of Soul Harvest also being very good single target damage. So kind of start out with T16, relatively similar playstyle, just the only difference is you're going to be Soul Harvesting to proc that 6-piece a little bit more. And then we also have a Auto Haunter Jade Speed Greater Rift build. This thing's going to cap out probably around like 105 with really good gear and high Paragon. I was easily doing 100s on the PTR. So I would imagine, I mean, maybe Jade probably just isn't strong enough to go much past 105. I mean, if you're like really far into the season and your gear is just absurd and you got 2,500, 3,000 Paragon, maybe 110s, but probably 105 is going to be the cap on this one. But a really fun build, kind of hoping for a Jade buff this season. We didn't get it. It would have went really good with seasonal theme, but it, you know, it is what it is. All right, so next up we got Arakir Firewalker T16. So this is basically, again, you're passively casting Locust Swarm from Wormwood, and you were just trying to buff Locust Swarm as much as possible. So you're getting a massive damage increase to Locust Swarm from the Arakir set, and then you're getting Pestilence from the Vile Hive, so it's spreading all over the map. And then you're also able to run Locust Swarm Searing Locust, which is the highest damage Locust Swarm rune, and it's going to take on both this and Pestilence. And This one's a little bit more gear dependent. You probably don't want to run this till you're at least about Paragon, probably 1000. I mean, you can probably make it work around 800, but it's going to be tough because you want the Locust Swarm to be killing the trash mobs within 1 to 2 ticks of the dot damage. So staying on the Arakir here, let's go over to Corp Spiders. So we have a couple different builds here. This is a Greater Rift speeds, so 110 to 120 Greater Rift speed build. It is definitely not one of the fastest speed builds out there, but it is extremely powerful, does a ton of damage, so you can absolutely farm XP in Paragon with this setup. It's just not going to be fast as something like a Monk or a Demon Hunter can do it. And then of course you've got the Greater Rift pushing build, which more than likely is going to be the best pushing build again for Witch Doctor. We're going to be running the Bogadile Sanctified Power. This is going to pull enemies in, and it's really insane. I mean, you get to pixel stack mobs on top of each other. Really, really strong. You could also run the Horrify Sanctified Power as well. I think they're both pretty good, but in my opinion, the pull from the Piranhas is just too powerful to pass up on. So then we've got LOD, LON darts. So the speed Greater Rift setup is going to be LOD. And this is a pretty fast build too. You should be able to do up to 110s or so. Maybe higher. Again, it's just gear dependent, Paragon dependent, how far you can push these builds to do speed runs in. You want to be doing at the worst 5-minute clears when you're doing these high GRs, and you want them to be really like 3 to 4 minutes to make it as efficient as possible. But this is going to be really strong this season with the Horrify power here. 100% more damage, and Perma Horrify is really nice. So it's going to be a good build if you want to run that. And then same for, if you're trying to push on the no set bonus leaderboard, then you've got the Greater Rift pushing setup as well here. And again, the Horrify Sanctified Power for this. So next up, we got Spirit Barrage. Spirit Barrage is going to be really strong this season. Again, mostly because of this Bogadile power with pixel stacking the enemies on top of each other. The pool is just so strong. And so it's going to kind of revive Spirit Barrage a little bit. So you've got the Greater Rift push set up here that you can go ahead and utilize. This is going to compete. I don't think it's going to be better than Corp Spiders, but you'll be able to push this up really high. I mean, it could. With a really insane Rift and Spirit Barrage played properly, it's going to be really, really strong with the Sanctified Power. Then you've also got a T16 version here. This one we're actually going to run the Horrify ability with the Rochelle's Ring of Larceny, and this is another super fast T16 build. Like, all of the T16 builds can, for the most part, do under 2 minutes consistently. You got the T16 Gargs, this Spirit Barrage T16, Firewalker, the Auto Haunter builds. All of them can do sub 2 minute clears, so you got your pick of those pretty much as to what you want to run for T16 this season, which is pretty cool, man. It's nice to have variety. And then we got a Spirit Barrage Greater Rift speeds as well if you want to farm Paragon with the Mundanugu set. So that's here if you want to utilize that. And then finally, we've got the Zuni darts set up. We're going to run the Horrify Sanctified Power here as well. It's a really strong build too. It's even stronger this season with 100% increased damage here from Horrify, 100% more damage. And you get a little bit of damage reduction too, which this build desperately needs. Thing is though, when you're really pushing high with Zuni, this 15% damage reduction is not going to really matter. The build's just way too squishy. Anything hits you, you're falling over for the most part once you get high enough. So yeah, this should pretty much cover, anything you guys want to run this season on the Witch Dock. Again, I may add some more builds in here and there, and if I do, I'll update the description of this video. And if I make any changes to gear and things like that, I'll update them as well. But yeah, all the links will be in the description. And yeah, I really appreciate the support, man. I've been back for basically since the PTR started making Diablo 3 content again after a pretty long hiatus, and the support's been great. All you guys that have been here for years still supporting the channel and watching, I really appreciate you. And to the new subs and viewers, thank you very much as well. And I'll try to continue to put out as high quality content as I can, and content that helps you in the season and makes your in-game experience more enjoyable. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.